Accelerate your agency's profitable growth with tools, tips, and value-added interviews with your host, agency owner and coach, Rob DaCosta.
I've seen some agencies really thrive and some agencies really struggle. And I'd just love to get a sense from you of like, what have you seen and what are the common themes that you've seen of those agencies that have actually done really well in the last couple of years?
A couple of words that come to mind, Rob, are adaptability is one that's been huge. Another is specialization. And another is authority. So being able to make quick changes in your business and being willing to pivot and break some things that I think a lot of people hold on to business models that maybe in good times aren't really working that well for them, but they just kind of have always done it a certain way. I think that the pandemic kind of shook the table quite a bit, and you had to kind of be willing to be flexible. And then specialization. I think that the people that are a part of our community and out in the marketplace that have been, highly niched, and not just in who they focus on, but also in terms of building their offering around getting that group of people a very specific result, I think have done better because of what's happened the last year. And initially there was a lot of, oh my gosh, if you're in restaurant or if you're in a touch-based business or gyms or this or that, right, you're screwed. And the reality was, there was probably a couple of crazy months, but the clients that I have that are focused on hotels or travel or restaurants, in a weird way, they've had to be very adaptable to the market. They've had to get out there and talk to their customers and pivot and all that kind of stuff. And it was messy and it was bad. And I was in the trenches with some of those clients, but they've actually come out with healthier, more profitable, and in some cases, even larger revenues and teams than they had going in, because those markets had a lot at stake to pivot, and they relied on digital agencies and agencies of all types to help them make that journey. And Rob, the last thing I'll say is that authority piece, which is the people that had lists and audiences and some kind of influence over their market. Because of the things that were changing, so many people were looking for leadership, ideas, and strategies. And those people that had those audiences were able to capture and grow their market share of whether it was growing their client base at first, like that wasn't happening, but they grew their lists. Some of my clients that were in travel, for instance, got more leads, like people that signed up for their email list because they were running webinars and trainings about how to pivot with the pandemic. And their email list grew by 500% in 3 months.
If you'd like to listen to this episode in full, then head over to podfollow.com/the Agency Accelerator to listen to this episode and others, and make sure that you hit subscribe.